All right.
Is it messing it up that mine's vertical?
Nah, it don't bother me, dude.
All right.
Okay, hang on. Okay, dude. We are we're live.
On the interwebs.
We're live on the interweb. So I'm pulling it up. Oh, I'm pulling it up on my phone. Dang, dude, 13 people already.
They're expecting Rob.
I know they were expecting Rob. Andrew, Extreme Me, some peeps on there. So I'm gonna have my phone down here. And actually here. I'm gonna no, my phone won't work. I'm gonna have my phone down here. Jason Blodgett. Blodgett says, "What's up, Andy?"
Blodgett, what
So
up, buddy?
Blodgett, Blodgett's on. Oh, sorry, I'm in my garage and it's open, so people doing some burnouts. How are you, Andy?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
Good. I feel like I'm still trying to recover from the rock.
That's what happens when we start getting old.
Yeah, dude. What?
Yeah, it took me a couple days to recover myself, and I didn't even race. I did quite a bit of hiking back up the trail for spots to get vids, and it's just one of those things. It's you see it. GoPro effect is always in effect, and even if you're familiar with riding and understanding scale with the
Yeah.
GoPro, it still just doesn't do it justice until you're there.
So
Place is steep.
let everybody know. Had not only had you never been to Windrock, you've never
Mm-hmm.
been to a legit bike park.
I've never been to a legit bike park. The
And
only bike park I've been to is in Texas, which, I'm appreciative of that fact that it's there, but that's only 300 feet, I believe.
yeah.
And Windrock is quite a bit more.
So give us some insight. What were your thoughts on Windrock and some things in particular?
I was just curious to see exactly how big this stuff was in person because you see a lot of the footage from the races and you see some of the POV from the pros. And obviously, the pros always make everything look so effortless. And there's not a true sense of scale on the GoPro from POV.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the cell phone footage on the sidelines and stuff like that. Everybody's seen the section with the whoops. That's massive in person.
Yeah.
Like you see it on the video, you're like, oh, they're hauling ass. They're just bip, 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 bip right through it. That's
And it's
no
going
problem.
down. Like you don't
Yeah,
realize that it's going downhill. I didn't realize that when I saw it. I'm like, that can't be that section.
yeah. I didn't think it was that section either. And just watching people go through it, the average Joes like myself, you're like, wow, this place is pretty insane. And we brought the e-bike for me to video,
Yeah.
thinking, hey, this will help me. I was like, I never even turned it on
Yeah.
because the shuttle would bring us up and then I just cruised down. I never had to turn it on. That's how steep this place was.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think you saw the steepest, like Horseface, Trail One.
I did not go by Horseface or Trail One. I saw parts of it from another trail, but I did not take it from the perspective of actually being on a bike or hiking down it.
Yeah.
But just eyeing it up. I mean, you just know it's steep and it's loose.
I don't know what it is, but it's loose. So overall, you had a pretty good time.
I had a fantastic time and I didn't even race. So definitely have plans to hopefully in the near future to go back and spend a couple of days and just cruise and just
Yeah.
try to get through all the sections without having to pedal and work on some skills there and have fun, man.
Yeah. It was a rad place. I was really excited because I'd seen a lot about it. I'd seen the videos and so many people that I respect, people that are high level riders saying, dude, you better be ready because that place is gnarly. And then
Yeah.
on top of it, going on trail bikes. And so it was, it's one of those things where a lot of people had bigger bikes. And
Mm-hmm.
what sort of bike do you need? I don't know. The Delano in stock trim 135, 150, I think for me would have been pushing it at 180 pounds. But we did the long shock, the X2 upgrade, and a Zeb on the front. And honestly, dude,
Yes.
I don't know that I could have gone any or much faster with a bigger bike or a more enduro type bike. That's just my feel.
Yeah. I mean, even on the couple laps that I got to spin on it on the third day we were there, I felt like the bike was fine. I mean, if we were on a downhill bike, maybe you would have had a little less fatigue in the braking bumps,
Yeah.
maybe. But everything else, I liked the feedback that I was getting. It felt like it was springy, and I was right where I needed to be.
Yeah, dude, it was definitely gnarly when we dropped in that first time. We hit Talladega and Caleb just blitzed it. And I'm like, bro, you got to slow down. I've never been here. So he was taking us,
prove, dude.
Dude, he was taking us in deep on some spots. And it was very interesting. It was a very quick wake up call to, you need to slow down. You need to think about technique. And you need to understand that you can't override this. And that was even more
on
evident.
My end,
people started coming up and breaking themselves off.
Yeah, I mean, even on my end, I didn't really get to ride laps until we were done. The race is done, and we finished filming on the day after the race. I was tired just from being out there for 3-4 days straight. We were filming, and I took 2 laps. I plan on getting 4 or 5. By the end of the second lap, we went up for the third. I said, hey, I might just roll down and call it quits because I'm getting tired and things come up fast there.
Yeah.
And if you're tired and things are coming up fast, that's a recipe for just bad things.
So it's funny because everybody sees the Red Bull drop and they see the step up, which are pretty big. But dude, how about the rock drop before that, right after that roller section?
That thing's pretty gnarly, man, because you're coming in just mock chicken, as you say. And if you come up short, you compress that suspension, it'll bounce you off the bike, man.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared for that because you're hauling ass and you're coming down so hard that your body weight and all the inertia is a lot rougher than you would expect.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people getting squirrely. I was posted up there for about 30, 40 minutes getting shots. And there are a few times I was like, ooh, that was close.
Yeah, dude, I saw it at first and kind of did a double take on it and thought, man, that's big. Like it's high, it's long. And there wasn't like the Red Bull thing is pretty straightforward. You roll in and there's a huge run out, so to speak.
Yeah.
That rock drop before, dude, there's not much run out. So if you're short,
no,
it's rough. But dude, if you're a little long, I think it's just as rough.
Yeah.
Because you're cooking. And thankfully, Jeremiah was able to tow me in and I could get a feel for it. But later on, I followed some kids on downhill bikes and there was some dude that was all geared up, Trek Fast House. I'm like, all right, this kid's pretty good. And he was following a couple of his buddies and dude, he checked up and I was like, no. And dude, he came up so short. Like it hurt me. I think I lost a filling watching him come up that short and he kind of pulled over after. And I asked him, I said, dude, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, man, that was kind of rough. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm glad you didn't break an ankle. I mean,
I almost watched myself die.
Oh yeah, it was bad. So yeah, that's one of those things that you just don't see. You know, you see the Red Bull drop more, you don't see that one. And there was other stuff hiding up there. Like, and thankfully, well, I don't know, thankfully, but it wasn't on the race runs. That stuff coming down after reach around, that was that was pretty gnarly. I mean, rocky, chunky, switchbacks, multiple lines. Just if you're creative or you've been there a little bit, you can get ripping.
Yeah. And it's one of those things for someone like me that's a flatlander, lives in Dallas. There's a lot of things that you have to get acclimated to very fast.
Yeah.
The fact that you get free speed, as soon as you let off the brake in some sections, you're already up to like 15, 20 miles an hour without doing much.
Yeah.
And a lot of those obstacles, you come up quick. And if you haven't ridden it, walked it, or pre-ridden it, it's kind of scary. And you want to check up, but it's almost better that you don't, because if you don't have the speed to get through it, it just makes it worse. So there's a lot of things that you have to really spend some time in dialing it in.
So do you think for somebody who lives in Texas, is it worth a trip to go?
Absolutely. Because you're not going to get that kind of experience anywhere else. They say like I can't speak on other bike parks, but the fact that other people were there that have been to bike parks all over the place and say, wow, this place is absolutely bonkers compared to all the other bike parks I've been to. That says a lot, you know, and the fact that you've got pros coming in there to test their equipment. I mean, we saw Nico and Aaron Gwynn. They're doing testing on their bikes. That speaks to exactly how much.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we got to talk with them a little bit when we rode up on the shuttle. I talked with Nico about it a lot. And it was funny because he was kind of laughing. Basically, we were drawing a comparison to Bentonville. He basically said, yeah, dude, it's a little different than Bentonville. So I was giving him some insight on Bentonville, but it's really interesting because people, I think now they're getting a better feel for what Tennessee has to offer, and not just Windrock, but dude, we went and we hit Baker Creek Preserve. Mm-hmm. So give some insight real quick for 25 people watching, Andy. Don't get nervous. Okay. I usually add 2 zeros. So we're going to call that 2,500 people. What did we go to film? Just give some overview of what you filmed at Windrock and then what we filmed at Baker's.
Windrock was more of a travel vlog, race vlog type video. It wasn't necessarily specifically for race runs or specifically for the park. It was more to encapsulate the weekend of getting there, practicing, racing, and catching a little bit of the vibe that's there. It wasn't for anything other than an experience vid. Yeah. The stuff that we filmed at Baker Creek was more of a pitch video, say, use this information, show what it's done for the area, show how the people appreciate it and what it's done for the community, and use that as proof to other municipalities on, hey, if you put just a little bit of money into this and create something like this for your community, it pays you back in spades. Not only are the people happier in the area, you get the kids out there having a good time, people that haven't been fit for a while find a way to find fitness, and it brings in dollars from travel. Because when I was walking around, you were out getting your POV vid on the trail. I was walking around interviewing people, and I interviewed maybe 10 groups. And only one person that I talked to or one group was local. Everybody else was traveling through, and it was their first day there. I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy, man. It's like 90% of the people here are not local.
That was cool because when we pulled up, I didn't know what to expect. I'd heard a few different things, but when we pulled up, I immediately thought, wow, this looks really cool. There was a ton of people. There was BMX bikes. There was mountain bikes. There was like towny hybrid sort of bikes. There was everything. And so it kind of had that Bentonville sort of feel to me, because you had some paved skill downhill runs, you had a pump track, but then you had all these other runs. So I was pretty impressed with it. And then the more we talked to people, we figured out that it's part of this bigger area, and there's even more. Like, we hardly hit any of it.
We didn't have enough time, unfortunately, but just being there for the time that we did, what was that? Devil's Den?
Devil's Dojo?
Devil's Desk. That was a cool run.
Satan's Sanitarium.
The pump track / paved kind of like skate park area.
Yeah.
That stuff was really well done. It's been a while since I've seen a spot that was that well done that didn't have the Velo Solutions name tag on it. They did a really good job.
Yeah, it was crazy. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, Velo came here. And then I looked and realized they hadn't. And that was one of my favorite places. Like, I dig the pump track, but I liked that multiple line flow run. Like, that was just cool because you'd throw a few pedal strokes in there and you can go as big as you want. You can jib around, you can do different things. And that wall ride was a blast. Like, you come in.
The wall ride was pretty big.
Yeah, dude. But it's the way it was built. Like, you got this paved berm, and then so you can just go right up it and like float down it. Yeah, I was shocked at how well it was set up to bring.
And the variety of skill level and age was huge. We had 5-6-year-olds all the way up to older guys that I just got back on my bike after 10-15 years.
And a lot of diversity, like real diversity, skin color, ethnicity, all that stuff, dude. It was really awesome to see all that. And then to go out, and it's a bummer because I even asked Andy, I was like, dude, let's go. We got done. I'm like, come on, hop on Rob's bike and go. And Andy's like, nah, bro, I'm done, dude. I'm
I
tired.
was, well, I was tired, and also was like, I cannot miss my flight because I got to be at work in the morning.
Yes. Yes. And the stuff
And
that I went and rode, dude, it was rad. Like you would have loved. There was another one called Barn Burner that was fun.
yeah,
Like riding up to it was super fun, and coming down, it was ripping, dude. It was fast.
it's
And it was something that everybody could ride. Like Sarah would ride it. She wouldn't ride it as fast as me, obviously, but
yeah,
I think she'd have a blast. And it's set up where you can get a little bit more comfortable carrying more speed and hitting jumps. And I like that sort of terrain.
and the place is just. I mean, in this time of the year, both Windrock and Baker's, that whole area, the terrain that they have in Tennessee, it's just so lush. Like everything was so green. There's parts of Windrock when we were doing transfers. It's like, are we in Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Because this is insane.
Yeah.
This is not.
Yeah,
That looks like rainforest. It doesn't look like normal trees.
I'm definitely excited about all of the videos. The vlog, we'll call it, of the race, I think is going to be great because it'll provide a little bit of insight. If anybody hasn't seen or heard about Team Trail Party, they're out of Austin. It's Jeremiah Work
Yeah.
is the dude who runs that show, and they do these things called gravity stage races. And it is basically an enduro, we'll call it, but very downhill oriented. And you get runs back up over and over again. And
Yeah.
you can do whatever order you want. You can do as many runs as you want, and you take your best one. So it's definitely laid out how I just think enduro should be, dude. It's supposed to be fun. And
It's a trail party, man.
it's a trail party, and everybody seemed to have a lot of fun. And I think it's great because you can take it as seriously as you want,
Yeah.
but you can also have fun. And I think that's one of the things that enduro needs a little bit of help with is people just take it too seriously, man. And it's a bummer because there's no parity until you're riding the pro class. There's always somebody riding in your class that shouldn't be because they want to stand on the top of the podium. And it's a bummer because I think too many people, they look at that as the benchmark and they try to compete against those people. And what I've always said is do your own race, race your race.
Yeah.
If you have a day of good runs, you finished where you finished. That's what you had. And I think this allows you to have the opportunity to have that good run. You can go back a couple times and you have the opportunity to have good runs. So then you kind of know, okay, where am I at? Where did I stand? And it was cool to see Rob do well, pull a second, and then Caleb get on the podium as well.
Yeah, man.
And I was happy with how I rode. I mean, I had some good stages and it was just fun across the board. So I think for people to get a feel for what it's like and get a little bit more behind the scenes, kind of get what we're feeling. And I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be fun. But then to do a video on downhill turns, it was so funny, dude, because we do all these how-tos and I mean, they're rough, but dude, this one was brutal, dude, because every time we did a shot, we had to hike straight back up. So I'm hoping that one really resonates with people because that was a fun section. And
It was.
those lines. I mean, dude, that one where those dudes were up on the wall. I mean,
Yeah, they were like 6 feet up the wall.
Yeah, dude, I don't understand how they did that. I don't know. That's crazy. So I'm
They
thinking
were
that
probably
one-
like little 8-10-year-olds that were doing it too.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, we're just ripping. So yeah, and then the Baker's video, I'm really excited about that because I think you got some good sound bites from people from a good mix.
Yes,
People.
and if you love cicadas, then that's the video for you to watch.
Oh my God, dude, unbelievable. And what's funny is I didn't know the whole story about how long they've been underground. You guys thought it was,
Was it like 17 years
17
or something
years,
like
I
that?
guess. Yes.
They came out to party.
In full force. So yeah, that was good. That was a great trip. I've been excited about that one. We're calling it the Adventure East. So that was a Fazari initiative. So we went out, we rode the Delanos, and we filmed a few things for Fazari. So we're also going to do one later in the year that's West Coast. So we're going to go out and hit some stuff in Utah. So that should be pretty cool. Yeah, I was excited. Yeah, I was excited about that. Now, Robert's saying we should go hit Angel Fire. We are going to Angel Fire. Plan is to go to Angel Fire the first weekend in October. So we're going to be in Pajarito the first weekend in September. That's the Team Trail Party event there. And then the first weekend in October is going to be Angel Fire. So I've never been to Angel Fire. Rob has many times. He loves it. A lot of people who were there in Knoxville had been to Angel Fire. And I think it's different, is what most people said. It's just Angel Fire is a little bit different.
Seems to be the place for a lot of the DFW crew to go to also.
Yeah, I think it's just the easiest drive.
It's close.
A little bit longer. Yeah, a little bit longer to get to Knoxville or another place. So let me ask you this, dude. You got Knoxville checked off. If you could go to any other park in the country, what would it be? What are your top 3 that you'd like to go to? Because I think I know what one of them is.
Is Big Sky considered a park?
Yes.
I would love to go to Big Sky because that is one of the few places that I think even the casual person watching video would say, holy crap, that's steep.
Yeah.
Even on GoPro. Because I mean, there's several of those shoots from the race where they're just bombing straight down. There's zero grip and you just see moon dust flying everywhere. That looks rad. And it's gorgeous out there.
Yeah. Good for you. I didn't know you'd say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get back there. Big Skies.
Yeah. You rode it, so you know.
Oh, dude. Yeah. And it was, I mean, that's the most fun I've ever had racing. Windrock was second, but yeah, dude, Big Sky looks legit
by
far. It was just, it's an amazing place. It's beautiful. And the trails are a mix of everything, dude, just ripping fast, big, massive jumps and the steepest shoots. And dude, it was wet when we rode it. Some of it was like grease. And there was a couple spots where people were set up, just huge heckle zones, just waiting for carnage and chaos.
Someone to bite it so they could just rip on them.
And dude, yeah, I came through in my race run and dude, I was on rails and it just like 2-wheel drifting in and dropping in the chute and everybody was just screaming and it just fed into it. It was awesome. But yeah, dude, a lot of people went down pretty bad there. It was easy to do. All right, Big Sky, what else?
I mean, obviously Whistler, that's kind of a staple.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one everybody wants to go to. It's legit, dude. Rob and I have been there. And
it's like the OG.
It's fun.
Got to get my passport sorted for that one.
Yeah. What's another one?
I don't know, man. I think there's Deer Valley is one that I'm looking forward to going to because I have a buddy that has property out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, dude. I don't know much about Deer Valley. I want to go to Bryan Head. So the last BME of the year is in Bryan Head, and I'm hoping when we do that West Coast trip that we can get up there. But yeah, there's a lot of different options, dude.
I think maybe for another video, a little bit closer to home for you, we should head up to Ironton, see what's up with those boys. They keep talking smack. Let's go check it out.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody just posted, I think it might have been Clinton, just a broken wheel, not a cracked carbon wheel, but it just grenaded, splintered. So yeah, I'll get up there at some point once we have time. It's just, dude, it's so busy, so busy. And speaking of that, when we left Tennessee on Friday, I was all bummed out because the Genius got picked up. And so I made a video. I tried to make it very clear about my affection for the Genius. Just a rad bike. Like I got on it and pedaled it up the street and said, there's no way this is 150 millimeters. It's pedaling like the Epic Evo. And it's a beautiful bike, very reminiscent of this one right here. Very good looking bike. But when I get back from Knoxville, I walk into the garage and see this bike that looks just like the Genius, but it's not the Genius. It's the Ransom. Nice. And so I didn't know they had said they were going to drop the Ransom off when they picked the Genius up. I forgot, dude. I totally forgot. So all of a sudden I look at it and go, dude, yes.
Surprise.
And dude, I pick it up off the rack and I couldn't believe how light it was. And I'm thinking to myself, dude, this is a 170 millimeter bike. How is it this light? And it was funny because
big boy.
Yeah, dude, it's huge. And it's crazy because I went out and pedaled it around. And when you pedal it up the street, it pedals like the genius. And I'm just thinking, dude, there's no way. Like, how the hell are they doing this? And so the past couple of days, I got to go out and ride it. John from Area 51 Films came up, and we went and did some filming. And dude, he got some pretty rad drone footage. We went and hit a few, there's the FPV stuff. We went and hit a few places. So he got in pretty tight. And dude, it just like instantly felt comfortable and just ripping. Like hammer down. Like I got some good lines through hammer down. Dude, I jumped the whole top rock garden. Just jumped it. Didn't even care about it. Blam, blasted right through it. Dude, this is going to be cool. So, you know, when you come down the second rock garden and you turn, and then there's the roller and the first step up.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how it's kind of like a wall on the right?
It's angled.
It's angled.
Yeah.
Dude, I jumped like 32 feet into that. So past the landing for the step up and turned the bike sideways. And yeah, dude, it's going to be, the shot was so good. I was looking at it. I'm like, what are you looking at? Like, I'm going to land up here. Like, no. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I just
I'm feeling it. It's going to happen.
Further and further. Well, dude, when you have that much travel, you can do those sort of things. If it goes wrong, it's not that big of a deal. But at the same time, dude, the thing was crazy maneuverable. So I just, and I don't have it for very long, unfortunately. I don't have it as long as the Genius. They're going to take it soon. So I was thinking to myself, man, it would be interesting to have ridden this up in Windrock just to see. Again, I don't know that I could have gone any faster on another bike, but it would have been interesting to ride it just to see, because 170, it's capable. It seems like it's bottomless in regards to travel, but it just turns very quickly. And like comparing the Enduro is what I have that's on par travel wise.
That thing's more of a tank.
Oh, dude, that's like a mini downhill bike. It's nowhere near as nimble as that. So it's just shocking that bikes in the same category size wise can be that much different. So yeah, now the problem is I have to think about, how am I going to get one? I want one of these. I want a Genius. Now we know why Jason Blodgett has a Spark, a Genius.
Would love to have a Spark.
Yeah,
my XC bike is due for an upgrade.
Yeah, you need an upgrade. Yeah, Dirtbag Friendly says guided by the spirit of send. Cobra Kyle just hopped on. What's up, Cobra Kyle? I think Cobra Kyle's back a little bit more east-ish. And Jared's on Cure Cycling as well. What's up, Jared? Jared's been he's been my sensei with this YouTube stuff. He's been guiding me and trying to help me figure it out. He's one of many that have said, hey, dude, you're not so great at YouTube. You got to figure this thing out a little bit more. So we're trying to get a little bit better at it. What does your next week hold?
Next week is more production at my day job.
Tell us what your day job is, Andy. I don't think
my day job is
Andy does a lot of the film work. So if I had to break it simply out, it would be Andy and Brock do most of the work. So two great dudes, and they are the ones that do all the high level production. But Andy obviously has a 9 to 5, sometimes much longer than that. What is it?
I am on the studio team for Tony Guy USA, which is a hairdressing school / salon company, and their headquarters is 20 minutes away from my house. Worked with these guys freelance for quite some time. I guess I started freelancing with them in 2005. I assisted on many of the shoots, and in 2017, when we sold the CrossFit gym, Austin Finley, who's their creative director, said, hey, do you know how to cut videos? And I was like, well, lucky you. I've been filming some mountain bike videos. So yes, I do kind of know my way around. And went in, checked out what they were doing, because they did a major rebrand and rebuilding of the company, new owners, everything's shifting, and they're moving towards digital, as everybody is. And that's how I got filled into that position. So my day-to-day is either on the computer editing videos or stills, or we're on set shooting. videos or stills. It's not always with hair models and stuff like that. A lot of it is internal use, external use, education. Yeah. Maybe I need to snag some of those models for some bike shots.
Yeah. 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 So you definitely have the background. It's funny. You talked about owning a CrossFit gym. You're in your garage gym as well. I tried. Yes. I didn't show my gym setup. I showed the bike setup. So,
I've lived many lives.
Do you know what a super chatter is?
A super chatter on which platform?
YouTube.
No.
Yeah. So I didn't know either. And somebody asked me about it. So I got it set up. And my man, Jared, also known as Cure Cycling, just dropped $4.99. So apparently this super chat thing, people drop you little bits of dollars here and there when you do this. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like, this is part of being a YouTuber. So that's pretty cool.
Maybe I need to start talking to my YouTube then. Hey guys.
Yeah. Hey there. People do really well with it, I guess. So yeah, it's funny. It's one of those things that I would like to do more of this. And you and I obviously have talked about what is the future hold for this, and how do we get you up here full time to help with this?
It's funny how it's evolved, because people have never seen it because it never went live, but I send you that first clip every once in a while. So for people that don't know how I met Rich, this was 2016, probably around 2016.
I think it was 16. Yeah.
I'm on Facebook, and they just started introducing the people you may know feature. So I'm seeing all these people all the time. And all of a sudden I come across this photo of Rich with this studio lighting setup, real serious, next to his bike. I'm like, who's this guy? Click on it. I'm like, all right, he's kind of serious about bikes. I used to ride, and I see all the mutual friends. So I hit up one of our mutual friends, one of my other brothers from another mother. And I was like, hey, Jack, is this Rich dude? Is he all right? Like, I want to start doing some video work. And if he rides bike, then that's a good in, because it's actually
down
sports.
For tasteful nudes.
I vetted Rich just to make sure he wasn't a Looney Tune. And lo and behold, we met. We did a test in his garage, set up a tripod, and it was a pilot video, I guess you could say, on what his channel was going to be. And that video is just amazing. You're going to have to post it up at some point. Yes.
Well, we should probably post it. I had totally forgot about it until you sent it. Yeah. And we had plans, dude. Like, we talked about doing all these things, and it just never really materialized.
We couldn't get support for a lot of things that we wanted to do.
Well,
it's not like how it is right now.
No, it's funny how much it's changed, and it's hard. It's like a catch-22. You can't get support if you don't have much of a platform, but you can't build a platform if you don't have support to do these things. So it was funny because we did some Giant bike reviews, and it was unique because I was riding for Giant, and it's people automatically think if you're riding for a company, you have to say good things about those bikes, which that wasn't the case. We did those. It wasn't like Giant paid for the production on those. And then we kind of rolled that into doing the same thing with the pivots. And it just, I never thought, oh, let's do more and let's grow. Let's like focus on it and study it. And what's the science behind it? I was just like, whatever, dude, make some videos and put them up. It was funny. Dude, I never put any tags on any of those videos. Like, not until 2020 did somebody say, hey man, what tags are you using? I'm like, what do you mean tags? I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude, I had no clue. And it was funny because we did the trance review, and this guy sent me a message, and he said, hey, dude, I've never done this before, but your videos, you're good. Like, your videos are good, dude. And you're a really good writer. Like, if you take this seriously, like, your titles are horrible. If you take this seriously, you could probably do pretty well. Remember who that was?
Oh, BKXC.
Brian Kennedy. And that was in 2017 that he sent that message. And it was funny because he periodically sent a few more. And it was great because I told him, yeah, dude, we should hook up and do some skills coaching and all this other stuff. And yeah, it's crazy.
Finally happened.
I know, dude. It's crazy that it's kind of where it is now with I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like the YouTube channel is rad. It's awesome. It's not like, if you look at the numbers, it's not anywhere near as big as some, but I mean, dude, it was cool to go to Knoxville and be recognized by some people.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, dude, you have to feel cool about that. A lot of your work, dude, people recognize that. What do you think of where it's at now?
I think it's at a point to where, you know, it's the mile race and we're on lap 3 and we're building speed for that last lap. So it's been a good build up. It's been rough here and there just because of scheduling and stuff like that, and trying to be consistent, because it's not easy. People think, hey, these guys are making all these videos and they're just posting them up, but it's not easy, dude. And people don't understand it until casuals buy a GoPro and they start filming their day-to-day rides, and then they get home and they look at the footage, and one, they say, wow, this is lame. And two, they're like, this is a lot of work to cut this video down into a 2-3 minute video. It's like, I don't even want to do it. That's why they sell their camera.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're traveling. We're going to venues with elevation. We're bringing a ton of stuff. There's a lot of logistics behind the scenes that people don't know. And then it's taken a while to get into a rhythm of knowing what shots we need, how we're going to present this, the timing of this and that. It's a lot of work. So I'm happy where it's at.
Speaking of getting in a rhythm, it's also difficult when you deal with, we'll just call them personalities, like Rob Drew, who decided he was too busy to join us this evening. Give some insight to the 33 people watching, what it's like working with the Drew brothers.
It wasn't a huge surprise to me.
Yeah.
And I'm speaking on when we filmed in Phoenix. So when we filmed in Phoenix, there was a couple of very heated moments, and I let you guys roll to a point to where I have to reel you back in, because you guys are brothers. You have that dynamic, younger brother, older brother. So you guys butt heads, and I have to let that happen. I let it go to a point to where then I come in, say, hey, split up. You talk to me, don't talk to him. You talk to me, don't talk to him, and we get back on course. But but I had a kind of a precursor to that dynamic where we went and filmed in Bentonville several years ago, and you guys, of all things, got into a huge argument about breakfast. And Rob basically was like, F you, I'm out of here, and took off because of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
So I knew that was there.
Let's bring a little backstory to that. I was still living in Dallas at the time. We drove up from Dallas to come here to do a private clinic, film, and do a public clinic. And we came up, we did the private clinic, or we did some filming.
That was a horrible weekend.
We did some filming. Andy crashed and got an impact laceration that was massive. We do the private clinic. Everything goes great. At the end of the private clinic, Rob stacks himself up. I thought he was dead. So yeah, it was rough. And the first morning, I packed food. Sarah made some great stuff. It bordered on a little too healthy for Rob, and everybody was eating it except Rob. And yeah, dude, he freaked.
Yeah, you threw me in the middle because Rob's like, I don't want to eat that, because I want to eat what I want to eat. And then you go, well, Andy's eating it, because I don't care what Andy's eating. I want to eat what I want to eat. I'm like, hey, leave me out of this, dude.
It was good food.
So that was my precursor to the fact that was there. So that's how in Phoenix, I knew, let you guys battle out a little bit, and then we'll diffuse it. But it was funny because when we were filming at Windrock, you guys had just a very small instance. And it was nothing compared to other stuff in the past. And you guys rode off, and Chris was next to me. He goes, those guys, man, it's interesting working with them. I go, you can just call it what it is, dude.
Interesting. Yes. Yeah, it's a good term. You know, I think it's difficult both ways. And I tried to kind of give him some grace, and Caleb a little bit too, because they don't understand it. They don't know what they don't know.
Well,
You kind of alluded to it, that it's way more work than people think it is.
yes. And it's also a difference of not only personalities, but perspective, because
Yeah.
what you bring to the table is very different than what Rob brings to the table.
Yeah.
And trying to make those work together and still present a message that people can understand isn't always easy. So sometimes you think it's done this way, he think it's done that way. And that's where it takes a little time to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that also ties into what is necessary and what is expected. So it's just a work in progress. I mean, the second time through, this was much less abrasive than the Phoenix filming. Next one will get better, and we just keep rolling.
Yeah, it's funny. The perspective one is important, and part of this one when we shot, Rob's really good. Rob has a ton of information. So anybody who's seen a video he's been in, the guy has a lot to say, but he sometimes gets caught up in thinking about it and doesn't just talk. And so part of me getting him riled up was trying to get him to just open up and talk.
Yeah.
Just be him. Don't be all straight laced and professional, and dude, be funny and try to get the point across. And I think we're getting there, and he's understanding it a little bit, but it's just hard for him because, like, dude, he's got to get warmed up when he rides. And so that means he needs a couple runs through. Dude, 3-4 runs through there at Windrock, you're hiking back up, you're destroyed. So you don't necessarily
I mean, 3-4 runs at Windrock is what, almost an hour.
Dude, yeah, it was a lot. It really was. But you know, it's the benefits of it, I think, are there, and it's cool to go out and hear people say, dude, your videos are awesome. I think now it's a matter of, what does this turn into? Does it keep growing where it is, or do we bring in other things? Because I love the how-to videos. I love doing them. I want to do more. You're going to have to start recycling them, just because there's only so many things you can do. And sometimes you open yourself up to a lot of criticism with those, which I don't necessarily care about. Rob gets a little fired up about those. Now, I want to do more of what we did in Windrock. I want to go to those places.
Yeah.
I want to provide some insight, provide some motivation, some entertainment, and show people what those places are like and give them some insight into that experience. And you and I have talked about that for a long time now. I think we've talked about it for like 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
And so I think it's getting to the point now where we have some ideas for next year and hoping we can make them happen. And it's cool on here because, like, Cobra Kyle and Jared and even Lance now, there's a lot of people on here who are making videos. You know, they have legit channels and they're doing really cool things. And now there's this collective understanding, I think, of what it's like, because it's a grind, dude. And
it is.
It's definitely a full-time job. And I don't have it. I don't have the time, man.
Yeah, definitely to keep the content coming on a regular basis, even weekly or bi-monthly. That's still a lot of work.
Oh yeah. So, I was talking to Jared about it, and he does a lot of the stuff himself. So trying to bring in third-person shots on your own, dude, set up a camera, go back, run through, look at it, do it again and do it again. It's just
why I haven't personally been able to put up a whole lot of stuff, and I thought about how am I going to create more content.
Nobody wants to see you, Andy. It's okay. Yeah, just keep filming me.
I'm gonna have to get off the trail.
Yeah, just keep filming me.
Talk about tech and gear.
Yeah. I mean, we can do that at some point. Yeah. Lance said he likes the behind the scenes videos. They're fun to watch. I dig them. Like, I want to make them more because I like doing them. Like, I like watching them. And so I want to do them because I think that's where a lot of the entertainment is. It's, there's fun stuff that happens. And if you just capture what's happening, I think that will resonate with people. But as you know, dude, that's difficult. You can't just walk around with a camera constantly on. That'll make the editing
Yeah.
job even more difficult. You get 17 hours of footage and you're trying to get 10 minutes out of it. No way, dude. And then dealing with all the different cameras. There's 7 GoPros going, and your main camera, it's trying to get these micro SD cards to get all this stuff. Yeah, dude. It's
a
crazy.
lot to deal with.
There is, man. There is. But at the end of the day, it's fun, and I like it. I want to keep doing more, obviously. And we are going to do some more. It's just a matter of how much can we fit in, and what does next year look like. Let me ask you this, dude. What would be your perfect scenario in all of this? Because I had a conversation with somebody and they're like, "Hey, dude, what do you want to do? Like, if you could do something, what would you want to do?" And I said, "Dude, I want to do what I'm doing. I just want to be better at it. I want it to be better across the board. Like, I love it. I would like it to be more streamlined, I guess."
Streamlined in what way?
I don't have to handle so much of the production end of things. I just go and kind of do my thing and exist.
He wants to be the star, people. He just wants
it's
to
not,
dude,
it's not even that. It's just, dude, like this weekend was a lot of work, bro. I was filling bottles every night and I was doing laundry, and I have no problem doing that. I would just love to not have to do that. And I think if there was a structure in place, like everything, there's 29 people here. I'm okay saying it's not what it seems. Well, I shouldn't say it's not what it seems. Dude, it's not polished. Like, it's not polished. We're
definitely grassroots.
Totally grassroots. And I would like it to be, I'd like it to be a little bit more higher level.
We're definitely not a Red Bull Media House, but
we're not Red Bull Media House, and we don't have to be Red Bull Media House. I would like you to be running that whole media empire. That's what I would like. So I just got to
make it happen.
I'm saying that on here so people will start texting you and messaging you like, "Andy, dude, quit that 9-to-5 salon BS. Go make videos, dude."
I would love to.
Man. All right, so hang on. What I want to see this. Howdy, guys. After watching the videos of you pros eating up those double blacks, I regret that today I sold my KHS 500 fatty before killing myself for getting committed. Yeah, some of these comments here are hilarious.
How many people are on right now?
29.
29. So I guess since I'm here, if any of those 29 people have questions about gear and filming, throw them at us.
Yeah, we got probably like 10 more minutes or so. We've actually gone through for 48 minutes. Pretty good. So yeah, if you have any questions out there, throw some questions out. It's Windrock was awesome. I'm excited. I'm really excited we did that because I want to do more of that. And I think now we have that content as a template, and we came up with a really rad idea, and I'm trying to get that idea built out a little bit more for next year. But either way, I think we're going to see it grow a little bit more and try to give people some more insight, like ride series videos, how-tos, behind the scenes, more tech and gear stuff. There's so much with the bike reviews is one thing, but like what gear to wear and why, like the bibs, we joke about people who they just wear shorts. I don't know that they should wear a chamois of some sort. It can be shorts, but I don't know, dude. I can't go on a ride without a SWAT bib or a specialized SWAT bib or a Zoic carbon liner. I just can't, dude.
Yeah.
Can't do it. I need a place to put my stuff. I can't go anywhere without my tire plugs. I know what my bottle setup needs to be. Like the deep freeze is right there. There's 22 bottles in there frozen and ready to go. Just things like that people don't realize. Helmets. What helmet should I wear? The camera stuff. So Josh Blum is on here too. And he has a podcast. I I think it's Trail Effect. He's got a couple different names going, but I did a podcast with him. Driftless Dirt, I think is the podcast. Trail Effect is one of his channels. I don't know. Either way, we're going out to do some stuff out there.
Shout out to him for running a podcast, because that's not easy either.
No, it's a great podcast, dude. He's got a lot of people on there. The production value is good. And that's another thing, dude. I'd love to do that. But yeah, like you said, that's some work. Yep. It's a lot of work in there. So we're going to see him up in La Crosse. So the ride series is heading to Indianapolis, Chicago, La Crosse, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then we're going to swing on over into Colorado we're going to be there for 5 weeks.
Colorado.
So yeah, lots of stuff going on. AJ asked, how well of a setup, top helmet or chin bar for GoPro? That little chin thing is amazing.
There's pros and cons. I mean, if you put on top of the helmet, you feel a little bit less of the tugging from the extra weight. Yeah. Because on the chin mount, that weight's low and in front, so it kind of pulls the helmet down a little bit. But if you're talking, there's nothing better than the chin mount. Because the mic's right there. And if you have a windsock on it, it sounds like you're just indoors with no wind.
Yeah, and there's nothing impeding it. The helmet mount, sometimes you're catching a little bit of the visor. And if you catch the visor, you got to try to crop that out. You usually have wind noise. Dude, the chin mount setup, AJ.
That's my favorite.
Legit. The only problem is you want to punch yourself in the face because of how goofy you look wearing it. Like when I wore it, I was looking around just thinking, I hope nobody sees me. I'm going to wear a nondescript jersey because it might be you're like, oh, I'm mountain bike brain. It's just bad, dude. Not good. I felt horrible.
Yeah,
okay. Trail Affect is the current show from Josh Blum. So if you guys are out there, check
it out, peeps.
Yeah, he's got some cool people on there. He did a series here, and he talked to like Gary Vernon. Dude, if there's a podcast with Gary Vernon, listen to it. That guy's got stories on stories on stories. What's that new camera you got? You're pretty excited?
The Sony FX3.
So you liked it? Did it perform well?
It performed very well. It's still in the learning early phases. So getting custom buttons set up here and there and learning how it reacts to certain scenes and lighting and stuff like that. I'm still doing all that. But overall, it's probably my favorite camera that I've had for video. There's very few gear that you buy that you feel connected to. And that's one of the 2 cameras that I've ever bought that made me just want to go shoot stuff just to shoot stuff. Like every other camera that I've had just felt like a tool. When I was done with the job, I just set it aside and I'm good. Like this one makes me want to pick it up more, which is awesome.
That is
so hard to find.
What in particular about it that you like?
The image quality, the frame rates. You got 4K 120, you got HD 240. It's got really good stabilization. It's tiny. I mean, the stuff that is on that camera normally comes in camera bodies that are much bigger. So the fact that we're doing the kind of shooting that we're doing run and gun makes it a lot easier. And the ability to use more of a pro mic setup. Yeah. Like I surprised myself with some of the audio that we picked up and how good it sounded. Yeah. Cause I'd never used that mic before in that setting.
Yeah.
So it's a good start, man.
So are you happy with the stuff we got?
I'm happy. I just got to find music, which is one of the hardest things to do.
Where do you
finding music and then sorting through the GoPro footage?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that too, I don't know if I told you, but the timestamp's going to be off on some of it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I had a battery out of my camera. So it's like January 1, 2016 or something.
Sweet.
Yeah. So make sure you drop way down when you look at it.
Way back in time.
Yeah, way back in time. Which of those 3 videos are you most excited to edit?
The race vlog. Yeah. I mean, they're all for different reasons, because I think the video for Baker Creek could lead to a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to make that a really good one. But the vlog is just cool because it's different than anything else that you've had on your channel. Yeah. And I think experience pieces are pretty cool if you keep it down to a consumable time range, which is why we've come up with the game plan that we came up with.
Yeah, but I don't know how consumable it is because it's still long.
I know it's still long. Yeah.
Oh man.
Attention span of people has shortened even more thanks to TikTok and Instagram. It's like if you don't catch people for the first 5-10 seconds, they're out.
Well, and that's part of what I've been talking with Jared about is how to do that and how to capture those people. It's hard. It's hard. I want to make what we want to make. And if it's 8 minutes, great. It's 8 minutes. If it's 28 minutes, then it's 28 minutes. I don't know. It's just, that's why I can't edit, dude. I'm not, I leave too much there. I just think about the story. I mean, dude, look at my Instagram stories. I'll put 74 frames in a day. It's what I do, dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for stepping in when Rob Drew couldn't make it. He was all, yeah, dude, I'll do it. Our niece and nephew's birthday party was today at this time. So yeah, that's what he's doing. And he said something about, oh, dude, I'll chime in on my phone. I said, no, dude, your understudy is going to come in and he's going to take it. So I would like to do this more with you, Andy. Yeah, we can do this on a regular basis and maybe we'll bring him in. We'll ask him and see. Since we're in the same time zone, I think it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, he's 2 hours back.
He is, yeah, and that makes it way more difficult. So you and I can do this more, and then we can talk like behind the scenes about different shoots. And if I get better,
say we could talk behind his back. I was like,
yeah, we will definitely talk behind his back. Who's easier to work with shooting wise? Like who's more professional and gives you better shots? Me, say me.
Caleb.
Yeah. No way. Yeah, it was fun. Well, sweet, dude. Thank you for hopping on. 28 people still on, dude. Not bad.
Sweet.
Dude, if 8 people show up, I'm happy. So we'll do it again soon. If anybody has any questions for the gear that Andy uses, put them somewhere. I'll get to them at some point. I don't know if you have to do it after the fact, but either way, I will figure it out. Thank you, Jared, for my $4.99 super chat. Bought myself a latte. So, all right, dude. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Peace.
Later.